And hello. This is Fat Steven hosting his first lunch table ever while Lorena is dealing with real life stuff, graduation today. So we are going to be welcoming in the Bucketheads crew today, or at least some of them. And someone also gets audio dubbed over. We hear talking in the back, and there's a funny story with that. And with that, I'm going to bring up my timeshare co host, Amanda.
Ah.
We have Marco.
Hello.
And my phone going off, which has a bad idea for doing this. So I'm just going to hang up on that person right there. Hi, guys. Welcome to the lunch table and the most awkward intro ever. Thank you, phone.
That was me.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
It says mom. No.
That's another conversation we have to have later.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, Daddy.
Plot twist right off the bat.
Oh, that's cool. But I first like to thank you guys for giving us your time, dropping in today. Gonna have some questions, good conversation, and with that, you guys are pretty much part of the Bucketheads, right?
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for waking up so early. Is it really that early?
It's 9 a.m. now. Not too bad.
Well, I'm 3 hours ahead, so I feel bad. And with that, I'm going to quickly say hello to the chat, and we'll see who's in here right now. We have Kate talking about Hamlet, I believe. We discussed that earlier. So we have Jace. He's from Norway. Terry, my mod, also another Canadian. We have, that's just Amanda. Who cares? Wookie, always harassing me in my fatness. Apollome's Minion, hello. And, of course, CJ, don't ever piss him off.
CJ!
And other than that, let's get into it. So before we get into the whole Bucketheads filming and how you guys all got together and started and where this all stemmed from, what were your guys' memories of lunchtime at school? The first ones you can remember.
Lunchtime at school. Didn't really have much of a lunchtime. I grew up in Germany, went to school there. They do things a little different there. I mostly just got a sandwich and ate it on the way somewhere. What about you, Steve?
I don't know. Lunchtime was awesome. Lunchtime was the time to get out and do mischief. So it was wait for that bell to ring. You'd run up into the playing field, find your corner with your buddies, and do your things. And that changed as school years progressed. You know, first of all, it was probably comic books and toys, and then you'd sneak off to try and see if you could persuade a barman to give you a beer at the end of school. Lunchtime.
That's pretty cool. Actually, I want to highlight this quickly. Zach's is actually the one who it was one of the viewers that actually wanted to hear from you guys and get to know you guys. So he's one of the requests. He's been very big contributor, and he's all over the place.
Good morning or good afternoon, Zach's.
Yeah. And hello, Dee. I see you as well. And with that, we already have Snow Dub Entertainment. Hello, Snow Dub, with a $2 super time.
Woo!
What time is lunch? Whenever you want to eat it, when it's not nighttime. But with that, thank you very much. And well, let's do the first one for our guest.
Oh, see, I get the little hairs go up whenever I hear that shout.
Oh, I
just woke up.
Yeah.
I wanted to cut it and make it a ringtone. You can literally make it a ringtone with that. Like I kept rewatching the space parts, and I was just like, I love this. Like, thank you, Snowdub, for that super chat. But the other question is, it's usually a two-parter with lunchtime. Did you guys have square or round pizza, or just a square or round sandwich? In case of Marco,
Square.
you had square pizza, the cardboard.
Well, cardboard square pizza inside. Square-ish, never perfect.
Did you just call school square pizza the best and only reason to buy lunch? Cardboard? Shame on
Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought the shape of the cardboard that they come in.
No,
Huh?
wait, I'm sorry. I talked
It's
a little
early
fast.
here, okay? I'm sorry.
It's all good. Did you guys have pizza at school, and was it triangle slices or square slices or Ninja Star?
It was always round and small. It was like a mini pizza, but round. And there was more cheese than tomato sauce. So it was kind of weird. But it did definitely have a cardboard consistency.
So now I
I'm
know
sorry,
what-
Amanda.
Square. It was square. It was the only time I ever bought it.
I'm sorry, Amanda. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. But other than that, we got the questions out of the way, and well, let's just get into it. If the chat has any questions, feel free to ask. But other than that, Bucketheads, how did it start, and what inspired you guys to start doing these fan films and now the series?
What inspired us? I don't know if you've seen the small independent film series that started back in '77 called Star Wars. Been a long time fan. I wasn't alive when the first one came out, but I love Star Wars. Most people who work on it do. Actually, I think everyone who works on it does. Most people I know love it. And so Andy and myself, Andy is my partner in crime, co-director, co-producer, co-showrunner. We synced up in, I want to say 2015. We both work in the film industry here in Vancouver as camera people, and we wanted to do more rather than just work on other people's stuff. And we discovered that we were both passionate about Star Wars and wanted to make something really, really cool. So we put our heads together. And at the time, I was also getting into the 501st Legion, which is where I met Steve. There he is, for me anyway. So the 501st Legion is a worldwide costuming organization. They make screen-accurate Star Wars costumes of the bad guys specifically for charity purposes. So the 501st Legion attends events that are meant to raise funds for kids in unfortunate situations or any other charitable cause that they can find. And the local chapter up here in Vancouver, BC, Canada is called the Outer Rim Garrison. All you need to join is just build your own costume that is up to standards. So I built a Stormtrooper. I had to try twice because the first one wasn't up to standards. But that just speaks to the quality that these guys pull off, right?
Mm-hmm. I had a question. Sorry.
Is that a challenge?
Very nice.
See, so I'm kind of imprisoned here, so I'm going to have to go to my backup. You'll like this one. This is my backup. So there's my backup.
No way. That's awesome.
Okay, for those that don't know, what are you guys showing right now?
This is a challenge coin.
So the challenge coin,
Steve.
if you're a 501st member, you have to have your challenge coin on you at all times, because if a fellow member presents their coin and you don't have it, it's not dedication, man, and then you owe that person a beer or a coffee, whatever tickles your fancy.
So where's your Steve?
I just showed it. It's in my my armor. I always carry one in armor because everyone thinks they have you. So I just pop it out there. Look, you see it? There you go.
I'll leave it pro.
Dude, so you have to make your own coin? I don't have one.
No.
Coin did it being a member.
Coins are like Pokemon cards for guys and girls and everybody in the 501st. The coins are nuts. People just buy coins left, right, and center. They try and collect. Every garrison will have a coin, and they try and collect those coins throughout the garrisons and have all the garrison coins, and people display them. It's just a lot of fun. It's really a collector's. If you're a massive nerd and you collect anyway, coins are a crack, basically.
I only have 3. This one, which of course is where I live, Ohio, Florida, and West Virginia.
Very cool. Hey, can I see that one again, Amanda?
Yeah.
Nice.
That looks like the FISD Stormtrooper.
It does. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
I brought it up just for you boys too.
I feel bad for the host. He's sitting there thinking, I want a coin.
I do, but you have to earn it, and I don't have any artistic skill building a Stormtrooper costume. It would just be a Jawa with a Stormtrooper helmet.
Hey, you can still be in with a Jawa. You can still be in with a Jawa.
It's true. Doesn't have to be a Stormtrooper. But I was very much in the same boat. Like, I am not a handy person in any way, shape, or form, which is why my first attempt didn't quite work out, right? Oh, what's that?
Definitely a collector.
Is that my nerd card? Is that my nerd card for you?
Yeah, definitely a collector.
Is that my nerd card right there? Is that
yeah, that's impressive. Most impressive.
Nice.
But he's still not a
I
Jedi.
can't hear you, Amanda, over your ego. What was that?
Honey, I already showed the tour of my house where my entire house looks like that. So nice
I
try.
know. Dadman Walking says West Virginia. There can't be many of those around.
The coins.
The coins, but like so, pretty much they're Star Wars Pogs to you guys. And when you get challenged, right? Do you actually play Pog with all the coins? Do you stack them all up and just?
No, you hold that
No.
person accountable for losing the challenge. So basically, it's a double-edged sword. You could present a
Yeah.
coin thinking that no one has one, and if they all have them, you got to buy them all a drink.
So technically, I would have to buy both of them a drink if we were in public.
Yeah,
You
it's an
don't
old
try-
it's an old military tradition. You know, it stems from military times. You carry your coin with you at all times. You know, if you're in the Marines, you'll have your Marine Corps coin, and you'll present that at the bar if you meet a fellow Marine. And if you don't, you have to buy that guy a drink.
Oh,
I still have all my Pogs, Valkyrie.
No disrespect, Matt, but I didn't know that. You got like I've seen 501st. I've been to like the Toronto Fan Expo numerous times, and I've seen them all around. But I didn't know it was that at that level of seriousness when it came to challenge coins. I gotta get a bunch of those for free beer.
It's serious with a tongue poking out the side. It's never taken too seriously. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's a huge family at the end of the day, and it's all around the world. And who doesn't want to buy their buddy a drink, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But I would say the collectors are serious, very serious. Very serious. Coin trading all over the world.
Oh yeah.
It's still a celebration. There's always like a group that just meets up to trade coins, and I've done that. I've gone there and I've got some really unique coins from other garrisons that way, which I still have and cherish.
Yeah, literally a whole ballroom set up with tables and vendors, if you like, or people who have their collections, and you can spend. I'm thinking back to, I think it was Florida, and they had 2 bars set up in this ballroom because people were in there all night doing coin trades or buying coins or doing whatever. And it's pretty cool. But we digress.
No, it's not digress. This is awesome. I like learning
Okay.
new stuff about 501st. So you guys met as 501st members? Is that how it started? Because I think
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had a bar here in Vancouver called the EXP bar. RIP. I think they had to close the doors in, what was it, 2018?
It seems like a really long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was sort of like our go-to spot. We hung out there pretty much every weekend. Got to meet a lot of really, really awesome people there, and lots of blue milks were had, right, Steve?
That's correct. Yeah. Blue milk, for those that don't know, well, actually, you wouldn't know. We had our go-to shot with losing a challenge, which is a risky game, like I said. So we'd have a go-to shot, which was made up on a New Year's Eve once. We wanted a blue milk, Star Wars, right? You know blue milk, right? Everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I asked the barman to produce us a blue milk, something blue. We need a blue shot, and it needs to be milky. So he came up with half Bailey's, half blue Curacao, and then shake it over ice, and you get a nice frothy blue milk shot. So that was our go-to for our garrison, and we did many of those. But that's where Marco presented the idea to the garrison of, hey, I've got this crazy idea. I want to make a Star Wars fan film, and what better people to have involved with everyone who owns a Stormtrooper armor. And I do remember that night. In fact, I think, Marco, you introduced us to Andy that night, and didn't you hightail it out the door and leave Andy there very embarrassedly trying to recruit people?
Yeah, I left him hang and dry a bit. I did not leave. I stayed. I just, we of course were like separated a little bit at the table. But it was there were lots of firsts that night. I mean, it was definitely something we've never done before, and we didn't really know how this idea would be received. But then ultimately, it was very clear that a lot of people thought that was a great idea and really wanted to make something with us. So we made the short film back in 2017. Took about a year to finish it with all the visual effects and whatnot. I think we shot it in 4 days at Panther Paintball, which is the paintball course here in Surrey, basically in the woods, but on private property, so we could do whatever we wanted, which was excellent. And then released it at the end of 2018 and that's what you can see on YouTube. And then out of the short film, we were like, hey, this went really well. We had a ton of fun. Everybody loved it. We would be silly to not keep this going. So we developed it into a series with 5 episodes that are ultimately about 30 minutes each. So what we released so far of that is just the prologue, the first like 10 minutes of episode 1. The reason for that is that it's grown so much in terms of the scope that finishing the entire episode would take us about probably a year, and we just didn't want to have people waiting. We really wanted we wanted to get it out there so people could see what we're doing and the level that we're trying to achieve. And I think with the prologue being on display, everyone is getting pretty hyped about it. So that helps us to keep going and to make things happen, because it's still like a full volunteer production. We all have day jobs as well, so we try to put as much of our free time into it as possible. And we're getting a tremendous amount of support from the film community, the cosplay community, people who just have things that we need, like studio space, various like props, costumes, set pieces. Like we're super fortunate that we can actually build a couple of really awesome sets right now to really bring this to life. Because whenever you're in the forest, whenever you see a fan film in the forest, you're just like, oh yeah, they went back into the forest because it's free, right? Like forest is easy to get by and it looks pretty cool. But we really wanted to get out of the forest eventually to just diversify what this looks like. And our story just calls for a lot of different locales. Like we're going down to level 1313 on Coruscant, which I'm so bummed still, and I think many are, that game got canceled because it just looked incredible. And that environment is so interesting and rich. So we really wanted to have part of our story take place there, but that means you have to build it because something like that just doesn't exist, right? So that's why we're at the studio every week right now, just hammering away and building some really cool sets.
I can hear the way you're talking, the way you're describing it, because you start smiling because you have all this in your head and you want to get it out, but it does take time. And I think that's what a lot of people becomes the impatience and the patience, not only for you guys creating it, but the people waiting for just to see the creation. So the amount of effort you put in on the videos I've watched, I'm like, I like this. I really want to see more space battles. I hope we get a whole Bucketheads just in space, and he's just trying to find an Uber. But you can see it, and I think I can understand why you put the prologue out, because you want to go, not like you see a lot of people with crowdsourced or funded projects, but they don't give enough that's making them think like they're actually doing something. You guys, I think, put that out there so people can go, look, we care just as much as you do, and we want to do it right, and it shows. And the forest is free, so.
Exactly. And what you just said totally rings true. Like I'm obviously super excited about this because it's my film, mine and Andy's film, and we are putting everything into this. But this is true for almost every single person who works on this. Like Brandon, for example, who's our animation director, he's the one who dreamt up this opening space battle sequence that you see in the prologue that is absolutely mind-blowing. He messages me like almost every day, just like, hey guys, I had this new idea. What if we do this even more intricate sequence later down the road? And he comes up with tons of like animatics of how this would look like. And there's just this enthusiasm like throughout the team of just making something exceptional and really, really cool, because ultimately there's so much passion in the Star Wars fandom, and people want to contribute and make something that is just pays tribute to what Star Wars is.
That makes perfect sense. You use most of your animations are done with the Unreal Engine, right? Because like the forest, it's also free but very adaptable, right?
That depends. We are using the Unreal Engine quite a bit now for virtual production and some sequences. However, everything you've seen so far, especially the opening space battle, was done without Unreal in a more traditional VFX pipeline with applications like Maya and Nuke. I'm not a specialist on this. We have a really, really awesome VFX team that could tell you all about this, but that's what I know.
Would you like me? Would you like me to play the opening scene and just so people so you can explain it better, or would you like me not? I don't know. I don't want you guys to get caught. I don't want to get copyright. I don't know if you'll get copyright hit or anything. I don't know how you guys work.
There's no copyright that would trigger there as long as you don't play the opening song. But sure. I mean, I'm happy to talk through it, especially with the short film which came out 3 years ago. Those are some fond memories.
Purple Valkyrie quickly says, "I'm loving the enthusiasm from these gentlemen. This is what the love of the fans for Star Wars can create." And she's one of those people. Like if you get to know her and the rest of all the people we're attached to, you'll have a blast because there's a lot of Star Wars fans, a lot of everyone, and not all of them will force you to be dubbed over. So don't worry, Steve. But let me check to see if I'm going to quickly unshare that because I don't think I added the sound because I boomered this morning. So let's try this again. And bam. Do. Now, do you want to do the Bucketheads fan film or is there another place I should look? Because we can go right to YouTube if you want to. It's up to you.
That works.
Okay. Go to there. Yeah. Copy. And then we're going to paste and go. And I'm good like that. Whoa, that's not right. Hold
By
on.
the way, thank you for putting me down here with Steve because now I'm closer to the replicas I want. So.
Just reach out.
This way.
There you go.
Okay, what's going on? Why am I hearing noises but there's nothing playing? What's going on? Oh, that's why. Here we go. I'm having a boomer moment, so just bear with me.
Okay. Bimmer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll just start with this because
There it is.
I've watched this numerous amounts of times, and honestly, as soon as I hear TIE fighters, I was like, and X-wings, and then I just turn into a geek.
Totally.
But this will be the fan film.
Yeah. This is from way back.
I'm playing the
Way
wrong
back.
one.
Yeah.
I'm playing the wrong one. Again, boomer. I'm having a great day.
But they're both 12 to 13 minutes long, so.
Okay, well, hold.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can use the internet today.
There you go.
It's great. I'm already firing myself. And here we go. Let me know when to pause.
With the trailer, I think there's really we can just watch it through.
Yeah.
Save us.
Oh, sorry.
Everything has transpired according to my design.
Oh my god, my whole body's tingling. God damn.
It has
You
that
guys
effect.
nailed it. Yeah, you
It
guys
has that
nailed it.
effect.
Oh, and Jace especially like
Mwah.
this is so good. Like
So
For me,
that
it's always that final moment when that TIE stream comes on that everything just comes
With the
up,
TIE
right?
Interceptor? Yes.
Yeah.
and that's just the trailer. That's not actually the prologue. So that's just the trailer. That gets you ready for the prologue. I mean,
sorry.
And I love the fact that you use the Interceptors personally because I like those better than the regular TIE fighters.
I think everyone does. It seems to be one of the most popular opinions on the internet.
It has such that really nice, thin, sleek design.
They look really, really cool.
but as far as the owning one in a toy form, I do prefer the original tie. There's something about the original tie in a toy form that I like.
In the toy form, yeah, I kind of get that. Plus, they do stand up a lot easier if you can't hang them from your ceiling like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and in terms of this trailer, what I can talk about, I guess, is specifically the TIE cockpit that we actually build. So whenever we cut to the TIE pilot, that's all real. So our construction team, led by a gentleman by the name of Caleb, they built basically a full TIE cockpit, save for like the front windshield because we're filming through that. but it's like it fully lights up. It has controls. Here you can see that all these panels. And what we did was we put large LED screens in front, on top, and behind. So all the lighting you see reflected in the pilot's armor is the actual space battle that we are cutting him into. So all these reflections look real because they are real. And I've sat in that cockpit and it's literally the coolest thing. It was so cool. Like I couldn't handle it. And when we filmed this sequence, which was at the end of a very, very long day, I think it like everyone just looked at the monitor and had like a brain melt moment. Like everyone was just in awe at what was on that screen. It was so cool.
Dude, like I honestly, when I saw some of it, I honestly thought I was watching like a Battlefront 3 kind of trailer, the way it was delivered and the way like when EA does something, especially with Star Wars. I know a lot of the Battlefront sucked, but if you look past everything else, you guys did the same type of delivery, and the same hairs on the back of my neck are still standing, because every Star Wars fan that I know, me especially, even probably anyone here, you want to get in the cockpit of an X-wing, a Y-wing, a snowspeeder. You want to just feel what Luke did on Hoth and in Empire. Oh my God, you nailed it.
Yeah, it's even
I just want to blow something up with the Death Star.
Yeah, you just getting into the armor. I mean, you got to, when you talk about Battlefront and when you talk about the toys, I mean, when you grow up and you have the toys to play with and you have Battlefront to play with, in your mind, you always want to recreate. You always want to do it. So for me personally, to be able to recreate, be the character, it's amazing. You actually get to be that thing you played with, or you step outside of the game and you're actually in it. And you're surrounded by it, and the amazing sets, like Marco said, that these guys are building and designing and coming up with. You're in it. It's not even CG at that point. It's actually, you're in it, and it's full scale. It's amazing. I mean, they had the LED displays up at the top of the cockpit and behind, just with the star map rotating and moving. So you're moving in that thing. It's amazing.
Yeah, we didn't see it here. The star map as well.
Yeah, you can see that opening to the left of our pilot's shoulder. There's this little opening in the back, and there's a screen behind there as well, just showing a star map moving.
Yeah, just as if he was rotating and turning, and it's incredible, absolutely incredible.
It is, and like I've watched it way too much today already, and all I want to do is watch Star Wars after.
Let's just say this is brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Now, since we're on the idea of creations, and since you guys are building a lot of your stuff from scratch, I bet there's a lot of people in the chat wondering what is behind Steve, and what is your favorite replica behind you besides your armor you were de-chesting earlier?
My favorite, I think my favorite has to be this one here, which is Cable's gun from Deadpool 2, the BFG, the mother of all weapons. It's actually a rubber replica, which I was graciously donated this weapon to go with my cosplay of Cable by Charon Props, which is a local prop house here in Vancouver. And obviously, because of the nature of it being a replica from the movie, it was a donation to me. We can't buy or sell those things. So it was donated to me to use for my cosplay when I go out as that mean old man, Cable. But that's got to be my favorite. But I can't say that this isn't. This here is the best. Since I was a kid, I've always wanted this. And I love every excuse to get into it. So during COVID, it's been a real dry time to go out and wear this and do stuff. So every time these guys have got another filming stint, I will do whatever I can to get back into it and run around with an E11 blaster and kick some ass. It's amazing. It's great.
I kind of want to ask the question kind of related to that. Do you guys remember last year when you actually had someone, that girl dressed up as the Stormtrooper and the thing that happened up in Canada? Do you feel like that's restricted you in like enjoying your costume outside of not being on the film set at all?
Not really, not for me. I mean, costuming anyway and cosplaying anyway, you kind of you do what you need to do to get out and do it safely. I mean, we all have blasters, we all have weapons and stuff, but common sense is priceless nowadays. And I wish I could bottle it and sell it, but you just don't go out in public, especially after something that happened. You just don't go out there with it, brandishing it. You just wouldn't do it. But that's just me. The reactions on both, or the actions on both sides could be questionable, right?
Yeah.
Don't want to get too political with it, but
oh no, I wasn't trying to do that at all.
Yeah,
No, I was trying
yeah.
bad for Stormtroopers.
I don't think it restricts me. I mean, if anything, some guys were super excited that COVID had hit. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But no, in the fact that you can go out and wear a mask, we were all joking about this is great. I mean, having to wear a mask every day, I would do this if this was given to me. We can go out as Deadpool, you can go out as a Stormtrooper, you can wear your helmet and go to the shops, and no one's going to question you because you're covering your face. So there was jokes.
I was hoping for that. I was hoping to see like a line of
didn't do it?
Stormtroopers and Darth Vaders in my grocery store. Like, hey, look, there's Darth getting chicken. There's Darth getting a burger, and there's a Jawa running down the street. And then we had no. So I was waiting for the whole Mortal Kombat cast just to walk out of a Wendy's one day. We never saw it.
Yeah, it's a strange world we live in now. I don't know. Whenever Marco will probably agree. Whenever we put on armor and go out, it does nothing but bring smiles and give people some joy. So
Absolutely.
If you got to stick a banana in your holster instead of an E11, so be it. Just get out there in the armor.
I find that fantastic that Stormtroopers are literally the symbol of the Imperials, right? Yet they don't strike fear anymore when you see the 501st. They spark smiles and fascination, and it's kind of weird coming from the evil army of the Star Wars.
But they were also pretty useless too, right? So you don't have to fear them so much because they're not going to be able to hit you with any blaster fire anyway. So.
True, but I think it also speaks to the fandom and what they've done to turn this into their own thing, right? I mean, it's basically they took this symbol of evil from Star Wars and turned it into something else entirely. And everyone understands what Star Wars is. I mean, it's always been very black and white in its messaging on screen, which is something we're trying to get away from. But in terms of just what the Stormtrooper has become in the public eye, it's really just a symbol of Star Wars, and it's just non-threatening in a way that is quite interesting to see. Actually, like when you see 20 Stormtroopers at a convention or anywhere, all it does is spark excitement, right?
Yeah, it does. Especially when you guys get all together and you do the marches you guys usually do, and you go down what was it, Front Street, if I'm going from Toronto perspectives, and you guys would all gather together, and it'd be like this giant Stormtrooper parade, and you're thinking needs more X-wings. But that is awesome. Now we know what Marco does now. Steve, how do you fit in on this, and what is your kind of like job or place within the Bucketheads universe?
Body for free hire. Again, it's the thrill of being on a set. I don't work in the movie industry at all, and to be on set to me is I would say an honor. I don't want to over exaggerate, but it's fascinating to me. I'm a creative kind of person, and to watch this stuff go on behind the scenes with amazingly professional people who are very talented at what they do, it's a learning. It's like watching YouTube, the University of YouTube. You gain so much, but to actually go out to a set and watch these people do what they do and enjoy doing it, it's great. So I'll do whatever I can. I mean, I've been building the armor for stunt guys and the main actors, so you've got your hero versions and then you've got the stunt versions, and to have somebody be able to work with those stunt guys and adjust all the armor to make it fit better, work better, and still look good is kind of what we've been doing behind the scenes. And even during the course of filming, there's on the spot adjustments that need to be done. You got to take a bit of plastic off here. You got to adjust this one there. So that's what I've been trying to help out and do, as well as, wearing the armor and being the character body double for Mark Meer to then come in and give it its grandiose presence on screen. So yeah, I think I'm not ashamed to say I'll do anything for these guys and help out where possible. I mean, I've been in at the weekends whenever I can to help build the set. And again, you learn more skills on that, working with these guys, because they want to pass on that knowledge. So it helps create this set. The set we're building right now is huge. I'm not going to say too much. Marco can say whatever he wants, but man, it's incredible watching it come together, and to be part of that is fantastic. You feel like you've contributed, but you're also bringing something to life that you want to bring to life. So yeah, basically just a big fanboy willing to do whatever can be done for these guys to get the next part of this out.
That's fantastic. You guys both look happy when you talk about this, whether it's what you do or what Marco does. And you can see not that your heart's on your sleeve, but it's in your actual 501st armor. And you carry yourselves with pride within your creation as the way you do with the 501st and their rules. And you can see it.
I mean, one of the other things these guys have brought into this is they've even got a military advisor coming in to talk about what would happen during the course of some of the action scenes that we're filming. So yeah, so I mean, it's on point. It's worth doing because, you know, as it's been said on many of these types of interview, it's humanizing the Stormtrooper. It's bringing them out to be a person, you know, that soldier, and to get the realism, you have to do it the right way. And it's, again, testament to what people are putting into this, to bring in a military advisor and give that advice and make it look better and do things the right way is just another testament to how much effort's going in.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one for us after the short film where we didn't have a military advisor because we were just some kids in the woods, more or less. We were just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this happened? And a lot of people pointed out, hey, that doesn't actually make any sense from a military perspective. We're like, yeah, I mean, lots of the inspiration that we used was Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan. Like, we wanted to make something that's a little grittier and more realistic than what Star Wars usually is. And since we are focusing on the Band of Stormtroopers, it makes sense to have more accurate military everything, right? So at the time, we didn't have any connections, but after the short film was out, so many people got in touch with us, right? And one of them was, and I think he's an ex-Marine sergeant. He's retired now, but he was like, hey, I'm in Vancouver. If you need to know how these things work, if you need an advisor, I'm happy to fill that role. So we brought him on, and he's been amazing to work with. Like, a sequence we just filmed earlier this year was like a SWAT style breaching sequence where our Stormtrooper squad breaches a room, and just approaching that was so cool. Like, he came up with diagrams as to where everyone should be at any given point, how to enter the room, how to clear it, and that made all the difference because we have no idea. We watch movies and we play video games, and that's where our knowledge comes from, right? But to actually have someone there who can coordinate those things and make informed decisions was super cool.
That is awesome. Like, dang, I don't know what to say. Like, I look at, like, even like the way you got the burns and the damage. Like, dang. We got a $5 super chat though, but like, and it's actually towards you guys. I love the enthusiasm from a Polymese minion. Keep up the great work. Hopefully, I will be able to get to see your work on the big screen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Also, for the pinned comment that's in the chat above, for those watching, you guys are all crowdfunded right through Patreon. Is that how it works? Is that how you guys get?
That's correct. Yeah. We're entirely non for profit. Everyone on this is a volunteer. So what we're using the budget for is what you see on screen, and for that we do need some help.
All right. So if anyone is interested or wants to get it out more, don't forget to share the link out. Maybe just tweet it out. If you want to donate, just go through their Patreon and take a look at it. Because I'm seeing progress in actual substance better than Disney, as other people have said lately.
It has to be said too that the Patreon, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marco, but the Patreon is funding the Twin Suns Foundation,
That's correct,
which is not just producing the Bucketheads series. It's not directly just funding for that. It's also funding the Tales from the 501st project, which is shorts taking you outside of this particular story and presenting different stories for different characters in the universe that we love. And it can be tongue in cheek, it could be comedy, it could be serious. It's just a lot of fun to do. So it's funding that foundation, if you like, to be able to produce this content, this fan film content.
Yeah, and the reason behind that is just to comply with the Lucasfilm fan film rules. Obviously, as a Star Wars fan film, we don't own Star Wars, and we are bound by the rules that Lucasfilm and Disney have set out to allow us to play in their sandbox. And one of them is that we're not allowed to directly raise funds for these projects. So what we're doing instead is we're running a Patreon in support of our channel. I mean, you can look at our channel and you see what we do, and it's really focused on Bucketheads. So even though it is not directly funding Bucketheads, you can be assured that that's where those funds go.
That's awesome and pretty smart. Sorry about the sound. I don't know why I did that, but and I have
reflex instinct.
It is. It's reflex and instinct. So I'll just show that there. And before I get into the next topic, I have to say thank you to a Polymese minion, and for that, you will get this. There you go. Thank you very much. I'm a dork, I guess. It's Gun X Sword. Yeah. So this is where they can pretty much find you on your webpage in general. This is what is actually supporting your channel in general. So you have, I went through this with almost everything in here. And is there anything you would promote for people coming to your channel for the first time? I know the trailer will catch a lot of people, but what would you send them first if they want to get to know you and what is going on with Transmute Pictures? Definitely
the trailer. I mean, it's only a minute long, so it's an easy pitch. And from there, just watch what you enjoy the most. I mean, obviously, the prologue for season 1 is right there. We also have Tales from the 501st, which is our other series, which is an anthology series. I like to call it Love, Death, and Robots, but for Star Wars, meaning that every single short is a different genre, a different style. We're just using it to tell quick, fun stories that involve 501st members. They can be comedies, they can be action heavy, they can be horror films. So far, we only have one episode out because our primary focus is Bucketheads, of course. But we do those whenever Bucketheads, takes a month or two to build another set, and we have some extra time to dedicate into other Star Wars content. Are you saying we can get a fan-made film of 2 stormtroopers just punching a bag, presumably with Baby Yoda in it, for like an hour, and we would have fun with that? I mean, if you watch the first episode, that's sort of what we did. Yeah, I didn't want to spoil it. I didn't want to spoil it, but yeah, I did see that. But I was laughing at that. He was like, he just walked by. He was like, no. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to spoil it. But it was great. Yeah, you guys, who did the Mandalorian, did that costume? Did you guys make it from scratch, or was it like partially donated? Like, because that was well done. Just like most costumes you see on the screen, those are just members' costumes. So people from our local garrison make those and own those. And the person you see wear the Mando costume is actually our art director, Terry Chewy. It's his suit, and it's an amazing suit. We were just like, hey, we should put that in there for sure.
and the Jawas.
The Jawas too.
And it has to be said from the prologue, the Ewoks have been a big hit.
Yeah. Those Jawas are also our Ewoks in season 1 of Bucketheads. I knew they were the same creature. I just knew it was just a hood that made it all difference. There is a question though from Dadman Walking, and he would like to know: did you guys encounter any weather days difficulties in making this? I've had the audio down at times if they've talked about this earlier. Oh, I'm happy to talk about this. We've been insanely lucky with weather. So both the short film and the Endor portion for season 1, we filmed on the same weekend, just 3 years apart, which was the September long weekend, which I think is the first weekend in September. And Vancouver has a track record of having lots of rain, but September long usually is pretty nice, and we went into the woods both times, and both times we were blessed with sunny weather almost the entire time. I think that was the first day for the endo portion where it was a bit overcast, but that was no issue. If it had rained, we'd be entirely out of luck. So bless the maker that we did have sun. We did have some trouble on the last day because a windstorm rolled in, which was very unexpected because it looked entirely fine in the morning, but then like all our phones went off with like an emergency warning, like heavy windstorm rolling in, like seek shelter, something like that. We were like in the middle of the woods. It was a big stunt day. We filmed that sequence where our Stormtrooper walks into the Ewok trap and gets pulled upside down. That required our stunt team to put some rigging up in the trees, which is a pretty intricate system. Like you don't want to mess with it, right? But then I think it was about noon when the wind started picking up and the trees started to sway, and we were like just getting into that stunt, and our stunt coordinator was just like, "Oh, I don't know, man. Like if this gets any worse, we need to all like get out of here and take this down." And I was losing my mind because it was like our last day. We had to get this, otherwise the film would not work, and we had to like go back again another weekend, which is a huge logistical undertaking. So we tried to get it as quickly as possible, and luckily we got it in time before the wind got too bad. But as a result, that sequence was a bit rushed, and we didn't really get all the moments that I really wanted to. So a lot of the shots that you see there of the Ewoks moving in and reaction shots, we actually had to pick up later, where it wasn't imperative anymore that our trooper is actually hanging upside down. So a number of those we basically just stole them. We walked into a local park, like just a city park, and had our trooper hang upside down from monkey bars, like in the middle of the park, people walking by, and there's like a half-dressed Stormtrooper hanging upside down from monkey bars, and some Ewoks are walking around, and everyone's like, "What is happening, guys?" It was a pretty insane operation.
You did leave him up there hanging for quite a while, though.
I did.
The easiest thing to do is just get a prop guy to make a small sign for you when you do stuff like that. Just say, just don't worry, it's for TikTok, and no one will bug you ever. They'll not look at you weird.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have anyone bug us, just a lot of curious looks, and one crazy guy came up and wanted us to make a film for him about how COVID is a hoax.
Interesting.
Wow, that's messed up.
Okay.
You see Ewoks and half a Stormtrooper, and that's what you want in a film. Oh man.
How do you?
I'm forgetting it's Vancouver. You can't. It's Vancouver. I'm like, it's the same thing where you're standing in line for your coffee, and you got the one guy behind you with no shoes on, slapping his arm, going, "I can't wait for breakfast." That's Vancouver. Sorry.
That's a very accurate description. Yes,
it is. Oh, CJ wants to know if you said yes. I doubt it.
We told him in the most polite terms to please stop bothering us and move along.
Now, I would like to ask a favor. Can I play the scene that we were joking about that I didn't want to spoil? Do you
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So here we go.
Warning, spoilers.
You see, his friend's chin looks like testicles.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's not funny.
It's hilarious.
You're representing the Empire. Have some self-respect, man.
I love how he's doing like the slow-mo Baywatch walk.
Excuse me.
Who came up with that idea, honestly?
The Baywatch walk, that was in his contract. He was like, "I'm not doing this unless I get to do the slow-mo Baywatch walk."
Have you guys thought about redubbing it and putting like a 70s like adult film overlaid of it and just having like strutting? Sorry.
We have lots of unreleased outtakes. Let's leave it at that.
I love Steven. He's like, okay, so you made this fan film, but I want to kind of do a fan film of your fan film by doing this to it.
That's not
Just
You would do that.
just put him in the pink shorts that the sound guy wears in in A New Hope.
Steven's
my
new
God.
super chat.
Oh no, but like I loved it and I laughed, and you guys also nailed the humor in a way. His chin looked like testicles, and that was but I did have a question when it comes to the outtakes. Are you guys planning on compiling all your outtakes and maybe into a Patreon reward, like for people who've actually supported and like making a DVD out of it or something?
100%, of course. We're just waiting to film the rest of episode 1 because I sense that there's a great many more to come that are very worthwhile. Like right now, it would be a fairly short video, so we really want to make it worthwhile and release like a blooper reel that is at least the length of half an episode.
That is awesome. That's awesome. But is there any now? If I'm going to direct this to Amanda. Amanda, do you have any questions for these gentlemen? Because I feel like I've been talking quite a lot. And
You're the host. I'm just here to support.
no,
but
no,
I mean,
no, you don't
mean-
need to ignore the DM. No, if you have any questions, ask. You've been drooling for about 20 minutes now.
but it's Star Wars. Come on. I've been it's just little fan. No, I
I'll
mean,
make it better for you.
don't do that to me. You know, just I don't actually have any questions. It's just, you know, I really do see the passion behind everything. And obviously, as a fan of Star Wars, which obviously I'm guessing you guys are kind of at least a little bit, just a little bit.
I guess you could say that.
You know, just seeing the passion that you guys have for it and the love that you put into it. You guys can't even talk about this without smiling. And, you know, as a fan, you really get to feel that. And you can tell that you're doing this not just because of your love for it, but because of the love that Star Wars has brought so many people across the world.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Yeah, that's basically that's in a nutshell, I would say.
Even though, Steve, you said that was always the Stormtrooper outfit you wanted. That one right there, the one with the Sand Trooper armor. That's
It's not
exactly
a
the one.
sand trooper. It's a
But-
dirty TK with a captain's pauldron.
Ah,
That caused some controversy in the beginning, but thankfully
now canon.
we're seeing it as canon, right? So everyone was like, "No, you have to be a sand." No, you don't.
no.
So yeah, this one's been through some abuse.
So then I guess the question would be, Marco, what of the Stormtroopers were you always into? Which was your favorite?
I really, really like the Scout Troopers. I have actually I've built one at the beginning of COVID, and he's basically finished. I just got a tournament for approval. There hasn't been a lot of motivation to do that because right now we just can't troop. But you know, I think we're getting to the end of it, so maybe now is the good time. So once things open up again, we can troop again. I can do it in my Scout.
That is awesome.
I mean, no
Okay.
offense, Steve, but the Scout Troopers are just cute. So
Yeah, I get
No.
it. Scout was
No.
always a favorite of mine too, but I don't know.
okay, as a short person being 5'2.5", the Scout Trooper
Thank you.
just seemed more realistic for me.
The Scout Troop is great because you can sit down in it. That's the good thing. With this thing, you're a little bit limited to what you can do, which is why a lot of people have said, "You guys are booking it in these. You're running." You know, I mean, if you look at some of the shots from the prologue, episode 1, and you see what the stunt guys have put themselves through in that armor, it's incredible. Absolutely, props to those guys to
Oh yeah,
doing what they've done to their bodies in that armor.
because I don't think if you guys have never actually seen what it all takes and everything that goes underneath the layers of these outfits, they're hot. They're so hot and sweaty, and you're out in the elements. And
The
Yeah.
Scout Trooper in particular is so hot. Like those gloves alone are like, you know, they're like motorcycle gloves, and you wear them, you know, in any weather over 15 degrees, and you're dead.
you hear that noise pulling them off. Oh, thank God!
It's the
Yeah.
sweat that comes out the gloves when you take the gloves off and the sweat's just pouring out. That's the thing.
Dadman had a question. You mentioned the restrictions on funding. Were there any other restrictions on topics or themes in making the production that you had to deal with?
Restrictions on topics or themes. I'm not entirely sure I fully understand the question. I
I guess
think in terms
the
of like
biggest.
what we can make the story about, I guess.
Yeah, I would say the biggest restriction is the lore of Star Wars. We're not
Yeah.
trying to we're not reinventing it. It's sticking within that. So the limitation will be to make it within the lore of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's one of the Lucasfilm guidelines as well. Like, uh, don't hurt the brand by making it something it is not. Obviously, that's a very vague and widespread net, but we really took care to create an original story that fits within established canon. So we picked out a timeline between the Battle of Endor and the Battle of Jakku, which is the downfall of the Empire, to tell our own story about a stormtrooper that has to walk that walk. And that's been discussed in some books, but it's actually not been too fleshed out in canon at all. But we're bringing in some canon characters that people know, and some key events that have happened, and navigating through that, we're telling our own story that fits into Star Wars and feels like Star Wars, hopefully.
No, it definitely feels like Star Wars. Hopefully, it does. End of story.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, on that note, we know we had to put 3 things into this to really make it feel like Star Wars. We had to add droids, we had to add space fights, and we had to add
Ewoks.
That's right.
You know what else is interesting is a lot of the comments that I've seen. I mean, and the other thing as well is we are doing lives on the Instagram channel to try and introduce everyone to the main actors, the main people behind this, and give them the props they need as well. So feel free to check out our Instagram page. It will be on our IGTV, and we'll be trying to put out a live, every couple of weeks to get to know the people behind it. But a lot of people's comments have been the fact that stormtroopers are actually hitting their targets. We're actually seeing some battles. We're actually seeing the armor work. We're actually all of this stuff, which to me is awesome. I love the comments, and I love the fact that people see that attention to detail, and it's not just a shoot everywhere, not hit anything. People, it's more real. It's more real without.
Well, they say that the reason why the stormtroopers didn't actually hit anything in the first one is because they needed to let them get away, because they had already planted the tracking device on the Millennium Falcon. Because even Obi-Wan says in the original Star Wars that those blasters are too precise for sandtroopers. They're obviously Imperial troopers.
Yeah. I've always thought that Vader has put down his foot and said, "Don't you kill him? I want him." I already knew.
That tracking device. We need to follow them to the base.
I mean, imagine if you were responsible for ending his son and daughter. I mean, that wouldn't go down well, right? I'm sure that would be bad.
Demotion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was also something that heavily influenced how we approached this. That line you just mentioned from Obi-Wan in A New Hope. Part of what we wanted to do was to show off the stormtroopers as a competent fighting force that they're supposed to be, but they don't really get that treatment in the official Star Wars movies.
Is there anything in general, as we're getting close to the end, that you want to bring into your project that is like a deep dark secret that you haven't seen yet in film or TV, or have you seen it but it hasn't been represented yet? Like, is there anything I don't know if I'm not trying to get you to spoil anything, but is there something that you want to get done that you've always wanted to do with Star Wars?
I mean, the point of Bucketheads is to examine the shades of gray in the Star Wars universe, because the official canon is always very black and white. Good and evil are very clearly defined, and we are telling the story from the perspective of someone who fights for the bad guys. But it's never just that cut and dry, right? So in our story, our protagonist, our hero, thinks he's fighting for the good guys, and he's doing the right thing, and we're examining why he's got that mindset. It's not a turncoat story. That was very important for us because it's been done numerous times. Battlefront is the most prominent example of that, and I don't think anybody was really happy with that because ultimately it's a bit of a lazy storytelling approach because you're not fully committing to the side that you want to tell your story from. So our goal is to tell a story beginning to end from the Imperial perspective, without actually changing what the Empire is, because the Empire is doing incredibly evil things, and we don't want to display them in a good light, but we want to make people understand why people are still fighting for them, right?
There's two sides to every coin.
Exactly.
If you whip out your coins again, I'm out.
Speaking of
That's what I
coins,
was waiting for. I was like, I was waiting for it. But this has been awesome, and I wish we could have more time, or even have more of you guys come back. Maybe when you get your Scout Trooper helmet finished, we can actually interview the troopers and see how long it takes before you slid it out of the chair with your own body sweat. See how it goes from there.
that would be a very uncomfortable stream for me.
Yeah.
The Empire did nothing wrong, CJ says. Thank you, CJ.
It's my favorite subreddit.
But with that, we're going to start wrapping up. I want to thank both of you guys for coming in and just hanging out. And I hope we can have you back in the future. But there's a lot of people that have a lot more questions. Daryl the Derelict says, "What such an awesome show." I agree. I want to see more space battles. I would love to see what you guys have coming. I hope you let Steve eventually use his own voice in the future. I'm going to make that joke, but
I didn't even pay him or prompt him, Marco. I'm just saying.
His voice would work if you actually used him as an Imperial officer.
Wah would that be?
The British accent just fits Imperial officers.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say power droid. Wah, wah.
I'm going to be a gonk, you mean?
Yeah.
That's it? That's all I'm there for is a gonk. I'll take it.
Hey, I'm trying to prove that you didn't pay me off in cupcakes and donuts with Krispy Kreme commercials. It's all
Listen,
good.
I was trying to give you a compliment. Give you like a Grand Moff Tarkin roll or something.
Grand
yeah.
Moff? No, thank you.
No, it's decided. We're putting Steve into a gunk suit.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. I'll do it too. You know me. I'll do it.
Oh, can you just make me like R2 buffet 3PO or something? Just just guarding the buffet, the local Mandarin, and just hope for the best. I don't eat your finger. Oh, come on. But honestly, thank you. Some of the people in this show here, they're probably going to reach out to you guys, and I hope you guys get a lot more funding and support. And I'm addicted. I really am.
Awesome.
Glad to hear it, man.
Yeah, that's great. And thanks for having us on.
Oh, anytime. You're welcome to come back. Anytime I'm awake, actually awake, because all of us look like we're half tired right now. He's like, I just want to go to bed. And with that, this is their YouTube. So what you can do is just head over to Transmute Pictures or anything like such, and you press that button, and then you press the bell, and then you press all, and then you'll always be kept updated. And with that, thank you, Marco. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Amanda, for popping in on that timeshare rental. Their links are in the description. I hope to have them back. Y'all have a great day. And this is literally the end of the lunch table. Take care and have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Live long and prosper.
I forgot my outro, so we're just gonna use it.